about Karen Reed, who's on trial right now for murdering her boyfriend, Officer John Okeefe. Now, this trial is wild because the prosecutors claim that Karen ran over John Okeefe and left him to die in the snow, while the defense says that Karen is being framed by the real culprits, John Okeefe's police officer friends whose home they went to that night. Now, let's go over the facts. On January 29th, 2022, Boston police officer John Okeefe was found unresponsive, buried in the snow outside of his friend's home. His girlfriend Karen, a college professor, is the one who found him. Now let's go back to the night before Officer John Okeefe's body was found. He and Karen were out on the town at a bar drinking and having a good time. Shortly after midnight, they hopped into Karen Reed's car, shown in the picture, to head to a friend's house, a home filled with a group of police officers who were also friends with Okeefe. After the bar, Karen says she drove John Okeefe to this house to drop him off to the party, and then she left. But witnesses at the party say that John never made it inside. The next morning, John's body was found buried in the snow outside of his home. The details of what happened that night are sketchy, but Karen says that when she went home, she woke up in the middle of the night and she hadn't heard from John, so she was worried and she decided to gather her friends to go search for him, which led her to go back to this house, the last place she saw him, and she spotted him on the ground immediately. Some reports have said that when first responders arrived, Karen told them that she hit him with her car, but Karen denies that ever happened. Karen Reed's trial has commenced, and we're hearing testimony from these three people who were at the party in the house the night before John's body was found. Karen's defense team is trying to prove that these three people are responsible for beating up John Okeefe, leaving him to die in the snow, and then framing Karen for his death. First, we have Jennifer McCabe. She was at the party the night before in the house, and she was one of the women who helped Karen search for John's. Police found a Google search record in Jennifer's phone of how long does it take for a body to die in the cold. But the crazy part is, this search was at 2:27 a.m., hours before John's body was actually found. This is Brian Albert. He is also a Boston police officer, and he's the owner of the home where John's body was found. Reports have said that he and John did not have a good relationship. This is Colin Albert. He was also at the party the night before John's body was found. A month after John's body was found, Colin posted a photo of himself to social media in which you can see that his knuckles are bruised and cracked, which the defense says is evidence that he had recently been in a fight. Now let's recap the most controversial details presented during this trial. When John Okeefe's body was found, both of his eyes were swollen shut and bruised. 2 red plastic pieces of a taillight were found on the scene. Broken pieces of a taillight exactly match Karen Reed's car's broken taillight. Okeefe's body was reported to also have suffered a cluster of deep scratches and puncture wounds to his right upper arm and forearm. Okeefe's body also showed numerous defensive wounds to his hands. Okeefe's Apple Watch showed him taking 80 steps after he reached the location of Brian Albert's home. Phone call records from Jennifer McCabe's cell phone were deleted. And of course, the fact that Jennifer McCabe did a Google search for how long to die in the cold at 2:27 a.m. hours before his body was found. Based on evidence presented, do you think Karen Reed murdered John Okeefe? Or is this a cover-up by law enforcement officials who know exactly how to do it? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Te-Erika with the T. Follow for more.